Welcome back, everybody, to the Pittsburgh Pirates franchise here on MLB The Show 20. As it's finally playoff time, last episode the Pirates clinched the division just barely over the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers are the team we're playing here in the first round. We've had a number of battles with them this year, and I mean, for the past 4 seasons, it's been us and Milwaukee at the top of this division, battling it out, and finally, we got a playoff series against these guys, which is something that I've been waiting for since Season 2 of this series. The Brewers beat the Mets in their wild card game, so we will finally have a playoff clash between these two teams, and for what it's worth, the last time we ended up playing, we won 13-0, so that's cool. I do want to take a quick look at the regular season numbers for both teams. Obviously, you guys have a general idea of our team's numbers, and obviously, we had a really good year. We won 2/3 of our games. This lineup is the best in baseball. Pablo Cairo ended up hitting 40 home runs. He also hit like 330-something. Josh Bell ended up hitting like 340 with 45 home runs. I mean, our lineup this year was just filthy. The pitching rotation, not as good, but still quite good. Tyone and Osuna both finished with ERAs below 3, which is a little bit of a surprise because both of them have had ERAs in the 3s for most of the year. So I guess it is good to see those guys have their ERAs down super low. It's also worth noting that Jose Alvarado's potential has quietly gone up by like 3 or 4 overall points this year. I mean, he has been really good for us. I'm very happy we made the move to make him our closer because he's been great. This Brewers team you guys have a general familiarity with. They are very good, led by Christian Yelich, who's now won back-to-back MVPs. And I mean, this lineup is loaded. Keston Hiura is great. Miguel Sano is great when he's not striking out, so like half of his at-bats. Omar Narvaez always dominates against us. Ronald Guzman is great. But the batting lineup isn't even the strength of their team. It's the pitching rotation, led by Blake Snell and Noah Syndergaard at the top. But their top starter, statistically this year, is Brandon Woodruff. The bullpen is a little bit shaky. They've got some good players in there. But let's not waste any more time, and let's get into some playoff baseball. We have games 1 and 2 of the NLDS today, both of which are in Pittsburgh, so the Pirates have home field advantage in this series. The Pirates actually have home field advantage throughout the entire playoffs, considering they did have the best record in baseball this year, obviously at 108-54. The Brewers had the second best record in baseball, yet they had a 1-game series with the Mets to determine if they'd make the playoffs or not, and obviously they won that wild card game against New York, which is why they are here. Let's take a look at both lineups 1-9 today. Blake Snell is not starting for the Brewers because he started in the wild card game. That's why Syndergaard is there for them. Also some team statistics right there. Syndergaard and Tyone warming up for what should be a very exciting day of baseball. Jamison Tyone has had a really nice stretch to end the season. In the past 4 seasons, Jamison Tyone's been very consistent after sitting out that 2020 season with a Tommy John. Let's open things up here. Logan Davidson, the leadoff hitter, going to get this game started off hot. Davidson down the line and left for extra bases, and Milwaukee already has a runner in scoring position right away. The Brewers were not playing around to start this one. 1 away now for Christian Yelich. Nice slider by Tyone, so it doesn't look like the Brewers are going to score unless they can get some things going here. Miguel Sano now, he strikes out. Tyone gets out of a little bit of a jam, and he is very excited about it. Logan Davidson looked very sad there as we go to the bottom of the first. Noah Syndergaard in for Milwaukee. Syndergaard started the year off extremely well. He's been a little bit quieter since. However, this is still Noah Syndergaard. He's still one of the best pitchers in baseball, as the Pirates are going to start the inning off with a base hit, just like Milwaukee. And to be specific, they're going to start off with a double. Wander Franco, very aggressive base running in there. Normally, that would just be a single, but Franco's decided to up it a little bit since it is the playoffs. Pablo Cairo now strikes out on the 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Noah Syndergaard throws absolute heat. So, I mean, it's going to be a challenge for these Pirate batters. Runner on third now. 2-2 count for O'Neal Cruz. It's a dribbler over to Syndergaard to end the inning. Cruz sliding to first. That was not a very good idea. But, I mean, I guess that was his best chance of being safe. So that will do it here for the first inning. Both teams started this game off with hits, but remains tied at 0. On to the second inning, Milwaukee trying to start things off with a hit, and it looks like they will. Bad throw to first by Tyone, who is a little bit shaken up. Keston Hira lined that one off his leg. Luckily for the Pirates, Jamison Tyone will be good to remain in the game. Omar Narvaez now the Pirate killer with a single into left. So already 2 runners on here with no outs. Brewers are certainly getting some hits off of Tyone. And here comes Tyrone Taylor with a 3-run blast into left. Of all the people to score the first RBIs in this series, I would have guessed probably around 20 players before I would have said Tyrone Taylor. So that's one way to start things off for Milwaukee. They now lead it 3-0, but the base hits are going to keep coming. The pitcher, Noah Syndergaard, with a double into right center. Syndergaard is one of the better hitting pitchers, but, I mean, Jamison Tyone is getting rocked so far today. Last year in the playoffs, it is worth noting that Jamison Tyone was not all that good. It seems like he just performs better in the regular season. Luckily for Pittsburgh, Milwaukee will not score any more runs. Let's go to the bottom of the second now. We've talked about how good the Brewer offense has been, but look at Pittsburgh. Runner on, nobody out for Benny Lang. That is an RBI double. Dylan Carlson sliding home, and now it is 3-1. So it looks like both of these pitchers are getting rocked thus far. Here is Francisco Mejia now up at the plate. 2-2 pitch. He singles this one into center. Benny Lang headed home. The throw is in time. They got him. The Pirates continuing to run the bases aggressively, and this time it backfires. Excellent defense out there in center. I believe that was Tyrone Taylor with the throw. Hot start for him. Score remains 3-1. One out here for Miguel Andujar. This one's going to be, it looks like, doubled into left center. The runner, Mejia, will score from first. And the first 4 batters of the inning have gotten base hits here for the Pirates. It is now 3-2, and it has just been a disaster of a start for both of these pitchers. Doesn't look like Pittsburgh is done. Wander Franco will homer this one into right. And after being down 3-0 to open up this inning, the Pirates are now on top as it's 4-3. A 2-run blast for Wander Franco. And now it is 4-3 here in the bottom of the second. Just an entourage of runs thus far, but things are not done here in the top of the third now. Christian Yelich with a double into right center. The ladies are yelling for Yelich, and these pitchers just continue to struggle. I don't know if Jamison Tyone's going to make it out of this inning. Keston Hira now up of a plate. He's going to ground this one out. Nope! Bad throw from Franco. Hira is safe at first. Yelich would have scored anyway since there's only 1 out. But now it is 4-4, and because of the error, the Brewers now have a runner on base. We'll see if that backfires. And it looks like the answer is yes as the next batter. Omar Narvaez will go deep into right center, and it is now 6-4. Pandemonium thus far here in Game 1 of the NLDS. Neither of these pitchers have shown up at all. I mean, this game you could argue should be 5-5 had it not been for the bad base running and the error, but Pittsburgh is down by 2, and Jamison Tyone will be removed from the game. Tyone, 2 1/3 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, 6 total runs allowed, and it'll be the rookie, Patrick Magana, entering the game. Magana's first postseason appearance, and he's got some work to do as this Brewers lineup is on fire at the moment. Ronald Guzman strikes out. Okay, good start to Magana's playoff career. And now let's go to the bottom of the third. Josh Bell up of a plate. Bell gets this one into right center field for a single, so Pittsburgh opening up the inning with a hit. And this game has a legit shot of both teams ending up with double-digit runs at this pace. Bell at third now. 2-2 pitch, 2 away for Benny Lang as this one goes high into right center, pretty deep at the track, at the wall. It's going to be close, and it's caught. So the Pirates are unable to score here in the bottom of the third. That's Taylor with the play. And it is now still 6-4 going into the top of the fourth. It looks like Patrick Magana is starting this game off pretty well as he gets Logan Davidson to strike out for the first K of the inning. Here's a look at Jamison Tyone in the dugout. Just a disaster of a performance from him. 3-2 pitch here for Christian Yelich. He goes down looking. And Patrick Magana, so far so good. 1 2/3 innings, has not allowed a base hit up to this point. On to the top of the fifth now. Pittsburgh's lineup is starting to cool down as Magana will walk the first 2 batters of the inning. Narvaez will strike out. You could argue that call should have been a ball, but the home plate umpire will call it a strike. Ronald Guzman now, 2-2 pitch. It's a grounder to Franco. Flips it to Cruz over to Benny Lane for the 4-6-3 double play. So despite walking the first two batters, Patrick Magana does not allow any runs in that inning, and the score remains 6-4. No runs since the top of the third as these pitchers are starting to get into a groove. Syndergaard forces Cairo to break his back. An incredible play by Ronald Guzman to flip it to Syndergaard for the out, and now we go to the top of the sixth. 6-4 remains your score. It looks like we've got another double play here to end the inning. 3 2/3 innings, 0 runs allowed thus far for Patrick Magana. We'll see if he sticks in the game, but regardless, he has been dominant thus far in his playoff debut, and it does not look like he will stick in the game. As we go to the top of the seventh, Emmanuel Clase entering for the Pirates. His ERA shot up towards the end of the year, but he still had probably his best season of his career. Expect Noah Syndergaard's day to be done as well. Miguel Sano striking out. Miguel Sano doing what he does best, striking out. Emmanuel Clase doing what he does best, striking out batters. Pirates would get out of the inning. Keston Hiura is barely out at first. Nice hustle. So let's go to the bottom of the seventh. Not a lot of runs. Actually none since the top of the third. Syndergaard is removed from the game, and Kevin Lennox will enter. So Noah Syndergaard, he allowed 4 runs in 6 innings, but the Pirates only scored in the second inning. So other than that, Syndergaard was actually quite good today. Miguel Andujar strikes out. 2 away now for the pinch hitter, Travis Swaggerty. And Swaggerty's going to get this one into left center field for a base hit. Swaggerty trying to go to second. The throw is not in time. So that'll be a 2-out double for Travis Swaggerty. That's probably the first hit today for the Pirates since the bottom of the third inning. That just goes to show how bad the offense has been since then. Wander Franco will strike out as Lennox gets out of the inning pretty easily. Now we go to the top of the eighth. Carl Edwards Jr., who had a great season with both the Mets and Pirates, will enter the game here. I'm sure the Mets wish they had Carl Edwards Jr. in the wild card game since the bullpen did blow it for them. Omar Narvaez strikes out for the first K of the inning. The Brewers have not scored since the third inning, so Pittsburgh's pitching, specifically Magana and the relievers, have certainly helped cleanup duty go well. As there is a fly out to right, Josh Bell makes the play. 1-2-3 inning of work from Carl Edwards, and we go to the bottom of the eighth. It's the slim lefty Alex Claudio into the game. Claudio got the win in the wild card game against New York. Let's see what he can do here in this inning as his first batter, Pablo Cairo, goes down to the changeup. Cairo liked that pitch, and I think he jumped on it a little bit too early. Josh Bell now hitting from the right side of the plate. 2-2 pitch, and Bell, he swung a little bit too early at the changeup as well. Claudio getting these batters with the breaking ball. Let's go to the ninth. Carl Edwards still in the game for Pittsburgh as he strikes out Keon Broxton. 2 away now for Manuel Margot. This one looks like it'll be caught out in right center. So 6 runs here in regulation for Milwaukee, all scored in innings 2 and 3. Good 2 innings of work here from Carl Edwards, but now it's time to see if Pittsburgh can get 2 runs and keep Game 1 alive here at the bottom of the 9th inning. The Pirates have had virtually nothing on offense since the bottom of the third, and it'll be the closer Jake Faria into the game here for Milwaukee. Faria did not appear in the wild card game, so this is his first playoff appearance of the season. His first batter, Dylan Carlson, will strike out. Good start for the Brewers, and now all they need is 2 outs before they win Game 1. Benny Lang now 3-2 pitch, and he will look at the outside slider, drawing a walk. Good eye from Lang. Now the tying run is up at the plate. Here's Francisco Mejia. He has a big track record of being clutch, and he strikes out. So now the Pirates are down to their final out. It'll be Miguel Andujar. Can Andujar save the game? 1-2 pitch, and this one's going to be weakly grounded to short. The play is going to be close at second, and he is out. You could have made the case that he was safe. That was extremely close, but that's how the game will end. Milwaukee takes Game 1 from Pittsburgh 6-4. Make sure to stick around because Game 2 will be up next. Nobody scored after the top of the third inning. So, I mean, we had that early stretch where it was just all offense. And then after that, neither team hit the ball at all. 6 runs, 9 hits. Nice for Milwaukee. 4 runs, 8 hits for the Pirates. Jameson Taillon was really bad. And the rest of the pitchers were really good. Specifically Patrick Magana. Noah Syndergaard with 5 of his 6 innings not allowing any runs. He does get the win. So now it is time for Game 2. And the Pirates virtually have to win this game because if they're down 2-0, that'll be bad. And the worst part about this is, if the Pirates lose today, that would be 2 home losses. So after this game, Milwaukee has home field advantage for the rest of the series. So it might be a little bit early in the postseason to say this is a must-win game, but this is a must-win game for the Pirates. They cannot afford to go down in this series 2-0. Peralta and Lucchesi on the mound for the Pirates. Let's take a look here at Lucchesi. He had an okay year. He wasn't bad. He wasn't great either. The only lefty in this rotation, so that'll be certainly interesting to see how differently the Brewers hit here, obviously facing a lefty. Weather looks better in today's game than Game 1 as Miguel Sano will strike out. Good inning for Lucchesi here with a beautiful purple sky. So the Brewers would leave 1 runner on but do not get anything across. Let's go to the bottom of the first. Freddie Peralta starting for Milwaukee. Peralta is not a household name considering the Brewers have some stars in their rotation, but Peralta's a good pitcher. He can strike out batters at a really good rate, 3.34 ERA. The first 2 batters for the Pirates would reach base. Let's see if they can drive them in as Josh Bell hits a single into right. Franco headed to the plate, and he is safe. Benny Lane advances to third. Yes, Benny Lane is hitting in the 2 spot today. Pablo Cairo will be hitting at the 5 spot, so that's certainly something interesting. As O'Neal Cruz now with a single into center. Lane is able to score pretty easily. Bell thought about going to third. The first 4 batters for the Pirates have reached base, and Pittsburgh already has 2 runs today. Here is Francisco Mejia now up at the plate with 1 out. This one is crushed into right, and it goes off the top of the wall. Looks like it'll be a double for Mejia, and the Pirates now lead this game 3-0. The runner thought about going home. That's O'Neal Cruz, who will retreat back to third. So now 2 runners in scoring position here. The following batter would be walked. So now the bases are loaded for Miguel Andujar. He will draw a walk. The run will score. That's actually Pablo Cairo, not O'Neal Cruz. So now it is 4-0, and the inning finally comes to an end as Joey Lucchesi grounds into a double play. He probably should have just looked at the pitches so he could just strike out looking, and the Pirates could have had Wander Franco up, who's been really good so far in the playoffs with the bases loaded. But nonetheless, I don't think Pittsburgh is too sad, considering they're up 4-0. Top of the second now, it's Narvaez. He will go down on the curveball. Beautiful pitch from Joey Lucchesi. Following batter, it's going to be Keston Hiura, the 2-2 pitch, and he's going to look at that changeup as Joey Lucchesi has gotten off to a really good start here today. Bottom 2, the Pirates offense again is looking really good. The Brewers would turn a double play to end the inning, so Milwaukee does not allow any runners there. And let's see if the Brewers can get something going here in the 3rd inning. So far, this NLDS series has been dominated by scoring in bursts. So let's see if Milwaukee can really get that here as Freddie Peralta gets this one to drop into right. Literally dropped by Josh Bell. That'll be an error for Bell, and Peralta reaches base. You cannot let the pitcher reach base, and that's just bad defense by Josh Bell. Doesn't look like it'll matter as Manuel Margot grounds into the double play, so the error proves to not actually be a big deal. And the Pirates get 2 outs there, a huge ground ball. And now let's go to the bottom of the 3rd. Score remains 4-0. Freddie Peralta is starting to pitch a little bit better today, and right as I say that, Dylan Carlson hits a blast off into left center. However, it is caught up a warning track by Manuel Margot, so the score still remains 4-0. Miguel Sano up. I'm willing to bet money this will be a strikeout. Yup. Miguel Sano can hit absolute bombs, but, I mean, he just strikes out way too often. Keston Hiura now 1-2 pitch. He goes down looking on the fastball. Joey Lucchesi is on fire. 4 shutout innings. I believe he's striking out 6 or 7 batters at this point. Just looking dominant. Bottom of the 4th, Pittsburgh trying to extend their lead, and it doesn't look like they will. Wander Franco flies out. The runner, that's Andujar, thought that the ball was going to drop, so he started running for third, and he would be out at second. So very poor base running there by Miguel Andujar. One at the top of the 5th. This time it's Hummel who strikes out, and Joey Lucchesi is just continuing to dominate. Bottom of the 5th, Caleb Barragán is in for Milwaukee, their long reliever. Freddie Peralta had 3 of his 4 innings, not allowing any runs, but he allowed 4 in the first. There is Benny Lane striking out. Good start so far for Barragán. Pablo Cairo now, the only Pirate thus far who is an everyday player and does not have a base hit yet in the playoffs, but that will change as he will single this one to center. So already here, halfway through game 2, all 8 of Pittsburgh's main starters have base hits. Francisco Lindor lines this one to first, so it does not look like the Pirates will score anybody here in this inning. So far, this NLDS series has had 14 innings, 10 runs, which is quite a lot, but those 10 runs have only been scored in 4 separate innings, and the least amount of runs a team has scored in an inning, other than 0, obviously, is 3, which is very odd. Top of the 6th, 2 away for Christian. The ladies are yelling for Yelich. Home run for Yelich. The shutout for Joey Lucchesi is no more, and the Brewers are finally on the board. Milwaukee just needed some sort of spark on offense, and they will finally get that. Here is Lucchesi now up at the plate in the bottom of the 6th. As you can tell, it looks like Joey Lucchesi will remain in the game as he gets a single there into center field. Now here is Wander Franco up at the dish with 2 away, and Franco crushes this one. Blast off into left field. This one is gone. Franco now is homered in both games thus far here in the playoffs. He's the only Pirate to go deep in the postseason, and obviously he's gone deep twice. That one will score 2 runs, and it is now 6-1 in favor of Pittsburgh. Are the Pirates done? It doesn't look like it. Benny Lane gets that one to drop in left. Yelich is unable to hang on to it, and he is actually out at second. Benny Lane tried to go to second, but he's going to be gunned down, so the score will remain 6-1. Still a productive inning for Pittsburgh as they add to their lead. Obviously, Lucchesi is still in as he gets Keston Hiura to go down looking again. And all 3 of Keston Hiura's at-bats, he has struck out looking. That's got to hurt. Pirates look like they're going to turn 2 here, and they do. Another successful inning here for Lucchesi. 7 innings, only allowing 1 run. I would imagine he will probably return for another inning, as it seems like his energy level is still pretty good. Pablo Cairo here going to get this one to drop. Cairo headed for second, and he is going to be barely safe. Pittsburgh continues to run the bases super aggressively thus far in the postseason, and, I mean, it's been a mixed bag. Sometimes it's been good, others it's been bad. Dale Taylor will enter for Milwaukee. He has not appeared in a regular season or postseason game, it looks like, so it's a little bit odd they're putting him in here, no? He does get out of the inning as Francisco Mejia will ground out to Ronald Guzman. One at the top of the 8th, still 6-1. Here is Guzman, who just recently entered the game. This is his first at-bat, and this one is gone. Guzman with the home run, his first of the postseason, and it is now 6-2. Ronald Guzman just entered the game in the previous inning, and he makes his presence felt here with a blast-off. As you can tell, Lucchesi is still in the ball game, as this one will be flied out to right. Josh Bell under it. He does not drop it this time, and I would have to imagine that'll end Joey Lucchesi's day. 8 innings, only allowing 2 runs. He struck out a ton of batters. Just an excellent game by Joey Lucchesi. Bottom of the 8th now, 2 on, 1 out here for the Pirates. Wander Franco up as he grounds into a double play. So the Brewers need 4 runs here in the top of the 9th. Can they get it? Let's find out. The Pirates bullpen cannot choke here. Victor Arano will enter for the Pirates. 79 games this year, 79 innings. 2.73 ERA. He was quite good. So here's the first batter, Christian Yelich. This one is weakly hit. As you can tell, the Brewers have the meat of their lineup up. The 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Yelich obviously out. Miguel Sano now, he actually does put the bat to the ball, believe it or not, but it is a weak grounder to third, and Duhar makes the play, and now the Brewers are down to their final out. This one's going to come down to Omar Narvaez, the Pirate killer, and he draws a walk. So Omar Narvaez will reach base, and the game is still alive here for the Brewers. That would bring up Keston Hiura now. He's struck out looking 3 times today as Hiura singles this one down the line and fair. And the Brewers are giving Victor Arano a little scare here. This game is far from over, as Lucas Erceg will enter the game. The tying run is on deck. 3-2 pitch for Erceg, and he draws the walk. That was a check swing. However, the umpire says he did not go around. Tying run is now up at the plate. It's Connor Hummel who will line out to short. O'Neal Cruz with the play, and the Pittsburgh Pirates survive a scare. 6-2 is your final score. Milwaukee and Pittsburgh will split Games 1 and 2 of the NLDS. It's been a very exciting start so far. Everybody is scoring in bunches, as you can tell. As we look at the box score, Freddie Peralta had that poor inning, so did Beauregard, but Pittsburgh was not able to score in 6 of the 8 innings that they hit. Wander Franco with another really good game, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. He's been the best hitter thus far for the Pirates in the playoffs. And then Joey Lucchesi was great. One of his best starts of the year in a playoff game, so it's good to see him performing well. So that will end today's episode. Next time, games 3 and 4 in Milwaukee. Will either team win the series next episode, or will it go to a game 5? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.